For the second time in just a couple of weeks, a small plane lands on a busy valley roadway. Look at this. This happened in Mesa. Surveillance video showing the plane gliding literally across Main Street. And just like the last incident in Central Phoenix, everybody able to walk away safely. Thank you for joining us for 12 News at 4. I'm Troy Hayden.
And I'm Treya Mai. Our Sean Rice joins us live right now where that plane came to a rest. As you can see, it's still busy behind you, Sean, but what a morning for this landing.
Yeah, Tram and Troy, can you believe it? Another plane having to make an emergency landing on a valley roadway. Just incredible. This morning, this small two-seater plane took off from Falcon Field Airport at around 8 a.m. this morning. On board was a student pilot and a very experienced flight instructor. We're told midair they experienced some kind of engine failure and they were forced to make an emergency landing in the safest place possible. On this day, this morning, that safest place possible just happened to be the westbound lanes of Main Street here in Mesa. A small plane gliding low over traffic before touching down right on Main Street in Mesa. What could have been disastrous, ending in the best way possible.
There's no damage to the airplane, no damage to the two souls on board. Quite a great day with a safe outcome.
Brian Davey with Mesa Fire says the student pilot and flight instructor on board radioed back to Falcon Field Airport minutes into their flight. Firefighters' emergency response transitioned from the airport to the westbound lanes of Main Street as word came in that the plane touched down on the roadway.
We're continually putting in the students' minds, okay, if you have an emergency, where can you land? Where's the best place to land?
Plane owner David Lines of Venture West Airline Pilot Academy says the pilots had just reviewed policies on emergency landings less than a day before this happened. The 1968 Piper Cherokee plane was up to date on its 100-hour maintenance too.
There's just some things that you can't foresee problems happening or emergencies like this. So that's why I equate it to, as a car, it is different since you are in the air, but mechanical things happen and we try our best to prevent those from happening.
Both the student pilot and instructor walked out of the plane with no more than bumps and bruises. A similar outcome to just 2 Sundays ago when a small plane made an emergency landing on 7th Street in Central Phoenix, another mid-air engine failure that led to a miraculous landing on a normally busy city street. This time, history repeating itself, not a car in sight for a plane landing into oncoming traffic.
Some of these don't go as well as they did today. So we prepare for the worst, but today was just an amazing outcome.
For us today, everything aligned properly and very thankful to higher being for keeping everybody safe. And it's not the phone call you want to get as an owner, but I'm just glad everybody's okay.
Yeah, back at here live, it could have been a much worse situation here today. That plane was just right here behind me, right in the middle of this intersection, right above this canal that's, here in Mesa on Main Street. They had taken it and pushed it in some video over to this Camping World parking lot just before noon today. They were able to take that plane away. They took its wings off, but it was transported by a flatbed trailer to the airport hangar where it's always sat at Falcon Field Airport. Owner David Lines tells me there the NTSB and FAA will be able to take it apart if they wish, inspect it fully. Of course, the question they're trying to answer, and I'm sure the public wants to know, what could possibly cause an engine failure like this, really in midair? We're live in Mesa. Sean Rice, 12 News.
Sean, truly remarkable. I mean, talk about timing of everything. Just the fact that they went over this the day before, putting that practice to the test there, the timing of no traffic. Looking at that video, that student pilot, he looks incredibly young. Any idea how old he is? Just curious.
Yeah. No, Tram, by the time I was on scene, he was already gone. The fire department mentioned that his mom was here on scene as soon as she found out that he and his flight instructor had experienced that emergency landing. Just by the looks of our video, he seems to be college age or a little bit older. And so I imagine there was a lot going through his mind and certainly a feeling in his stomach when they experienced that engine failure. But we were told that the flight instructor most likely took over. He is very experienced, and it's likely what led to this great outcome here today. I'll send it back
Everybody
to you.
looks young to people like us, Tram.
Okay,
I think at this point. But here's something else I'll point out, though. I mean, you're talking about, well, why did the engine, quit? Obviously, these planes, are kept up very well. But this is almost a 60-year-old plane. And the plane 2 weeks ago, I think was built like in the 40s. There's some very old planes in the sky.
Yeah. It is, and the owner was asked that today, and he kept going back to, and I think a lot of pilots would say the same, that no matter how old they are, they're constantly going through this level of maintenance, and even though it is, to many, considered to be a very old 60-year-old aircraft, that there's strict guidelines that with the FAA that they have to maintain them a certain way, and so it was up to date. He put it, these things just happen like we always have things happen here with cars on our roadways.
Wow. Thank goodness there was a good outcome. All right, Sean, thank you.
Thanks, Sean.